Good evening, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host, Ahmed Nawaz. Once again, it's going to be a cracker of a show because we're going to be discussing a very special Monday once again. We had a great activity on the weekend in Islamabad, and it was no less than a spectacle because what we witnessed is, I think, more than 110 people participating in this. Obviously, numbers can be here and there, but also international participants at the same time. Our brotherly people from the country of Afghanistan also participated, and we had an absolute ball of an event. It was a cycle race that took place from the federal capital Islamabad all the way to the scenic beauty of the holiday resort that we have just around the corner, that is Muree. And of course, it was a great event. Rizwan Khan of SSG obviously clinched the first position of Sui Southern Gas Limited, SSGL, clinched this first position. Fasiullah of Afghanistan finished second, and we also had a third position up for grabs as well, which was won by Hanzala of Pakistan Club. In the end, obviously, a spectacular ceremony was held as well, where Minister for Interprovincial Coordination, Federal Minister for IPC, Dr. Fahmida Mirza, distributed these prizes as well. And we've got a couple of gentlemen in studios as well to talk about this even further, because obviously this is a great initiative, not just a healthy lifestyle, but when it becomes competitive, then, it gets a lot of attention at the same time. And frankly speaking, a couple of people have been calling up as well, highlighting this activity that took place yesterday. So that means people do know about it. So that's good to see. So first of all, I've been joined in studios by the very honorable, a dear brother that he is. He's here all the way from Afghanistan. He's the manager of the Afghan cycle team. He is Mr. Waris Amini. Assalamu alaikum, Waris. How are you?
Alaikum assalam. I am fine.
Welcome to Sports Extra. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. First of all, by the name of Allah, I am Waris Amini from Afghanistan Cycle Federation. And first of all, I will thanks from the people of Pakistan, also the Cycling Federation of Pakistan, to invite our team in this event. So we participated in this event, and 1st November.
You guys came and participated?
Yeah. Our team was 7, 6 riders and 1 manager. So in this event, we participated. We have 6 riders, and this after the finish this event, our 2 persons, 2 athletes take. One Farshad Nurzais, in first position in junior. So also Fasihullah Rahmani take it second position in senior.
In the senior category. So that's great to see that we have different categories at the same time as well. And I think a lot of this goes to the efforts and teamwork of the next gentleman that we have in studios. And he's been on and off on Sports Extra. I've obviously been in conversation with him in previous shows at the same time as well. And one thing is for sure, that he has got a magic potion that is making him younger by every passing day. He's none other than representing the Pakistan Cycling Association, Mr. Harun General. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum salam. I'm good, thank you.
Sir, share your secrets now. Come on. You're looking, mashallah, so fine. It cannot just be cycling.
It is. Because I'm here representing the cycling, it's the cycling. But as I was discussing with you, what I do is I take a little bit time for myself as well. And cycling is actually that little bit of time and exercise. So it's not just cycling, you do any exercise. And,
right. So that's the secret, I think. Give yourself time. But sir, let's talk about the event in particular. Really great to see. I'd be very honest today because I was traveling a lot. So today was the day I heard about this event. But a couple of people did call and they obviously saw these cyclists as well. So there was a bit of hype created for the event as well. How was it for you?
It was a lovely experience, and actually, for us, it is a lovely experience because we see a lot of people from all over Pakistan coming in. And being in Islamabad, we do this route often, we ride this route often ourselves. But when you're part of a group and when you see such a diverse community, and you have people from Sindh, you have people from Balochistan, you have people from Karachi that are actually not part of the race itself, I mean the professional race, but amateurs as well. Because we had introduced this time an open category. So as Mr. Amin Warsi mentioned, we had the 2 categories of elite and juniors, but these were the categories for the professional cyclists. But we also had the categories for, we allowed other people who were not part of the cycling community as far as racing is concerned, because obviously everyone is not a professional cyclist.
So amateurs.
Amateurs basically. So those amateurs were given an opportunity to participate as well in the open category. And what we did, we had 2 categories in it. Above 40 and under 40. So, and actually that was the best part of it, because you saw so many people of, we had a few people who were above 60 even. and they participated. And they completed the route, by the way, as well. So when you see that kind of a person completing a race, so it gives you a great feeling that our future is safe, and if we keep cycling, and again, they didn't look 60, they look much younger. So cycling makes you look 10 years younger, by the way. So that's the secret.
So I'm starting tonight.
So from that perspective, we had a lot of people coming in. And from Islamabad, we had lesser number of people compared to people coming from outside. Because obviously, Islamabad has a very small population. And compared to that, we had a good number. But Lahore, Karachi, Faisalabad, Multan, and people coming in from all these locations. So that gave us that diversity that we wanted people to join in and race. And when you race Tour de France, a lot of people just want to be part of that race, because once you're biking, once you're in that peloton, that group of cyclists going, it gives you a rush that we long for as a cyclist, you can say.
Yeah, that's probably the nirvana that cyclists search for as well. Mr. Amini, tell us about the cycling culture in Afghanistan. How are people participating? Do you have competitions often, and what is the culture of cycling in Afghanistan?
Okay. In Afghanistan, we don't have any problem in cycles, so we have 4 categories like BMX, mountain bike, road race, and tracks. We have a lot of boys and girls that participated in this in cycling all around of Afghanistan, not only in Kabul. We have athletes in all of Afghanistan, so we make it our Tour de Afghanistan and Tour Bamiyan. Tour de Bamiyan was for women, and Tour de Afghanistan was for our boys. So in this event, we have a lot of girls and boys that participated in this event and take it the national team members on all of that. So 6 boys that came in this event. There is an first up to 6 position in national teams. We don't have any problem, so only we have a problem in security or
because
problems,
of the unfortunate things.
But we don't have any problem more of this.
But that means
so
that
also our National Olympics when support has, and this event also take it all of that expenses
and logistics.
Yeah.
That means that there is a good culture for cycling in Afghanistan. That's very good to see that it's competitive there as well. Mr. General, allow me to be a layman for once and ask this question, because a lot of people ask this. We're covering sports on daily basis. Even PTV World's news bulletin comprises of, I think it's the only news channel right now in Pakistan that is giving regular updates of cycling throughout the world. Tour de France, the Vuelta a España, everything. But people want to know, what is the criteria where we would one day see probably a Pakistani team or a contingent participating on that elite class? Where is the difference that we're stretching for?
Actually, the difference has been quite big, and we're working our way up. I'll give you a simple example. You know, for any international level athlete, it takes you about 10 years of structured training to reach that level. Now, structured training does not mean that you're cycling, so that's a structured training. Structured training means that you're under a coach, you're under someone who's guiding you how to ride, what to eat, how to train for your specific muscles, and it's your lifestyle. So that structured training we need, and that's where we are lacking. Now, as Pakistan Cycling Federation, we're trying to do as much as we can, because we don't generally get that kind of funding as other sports like cricket get, because cricket generates a lot of funding. Cycling doesn't get that much funding. Actually, the government supports us. The Pakistan Sports Board gives us that administrative support. They take us, all of that administrative support comes in. But the financial part, that is where actually we are lacking. I'll give you an example of India. There is this rule that cricket has to give a certain percentage to 5 different sports.
Sports, yes. It bottles down.
Bottles down. So again, any sport that is not supported actually gets it from somewhere where it is funded, because cycling is not an easy sport. It's not inexpensive. The bikes you get these days, and they're very expensive. And it's not just the bikes, it's the infrastructure that comes with it. The trainers, the performance testing equipment that you need, the heart rate trainers, because it's an endurance sport, so you need all of that activity. We even lack a velodrome that Pakistan doesn't have. Pakistan actually had a velodrome built that was in the 50s, and we are still using that one. There are projects going on, but there is not a single completed project where we have an international level velodrome ready. So that is the kind of support, that is where we are lacking actually. And if we have that kind of infrastructure built up, that is when we will be actually at a point to reach them. We will not surpass them, because again, it will take us some time to reach that point.
Because the gap has been so much.
The
We
gap
understand.
is-
But I want to ask, why we particularly stress on this, because from this platform, I have always stressed the fact that it cannot just be the federations or the government or the associations
True.
that can support this now. It's going to a different level. I always stress on the fact that sports like cycling or any other sports that also become part of the Olympics and obviously other international games, what we need is a public-private partnership. Maybe that can work. So can we look towards some corporate entities where we must see that we must bring them this prospect that they need to come forward and promote cycling, obviously take care of the finances, the logistics and everything involved?
That's actually one of the basic things. Luckily, we have cycling coming up. So during COVID, actually cycling is one of the sports that has really picked up. And a lot of people are on bikes now. So now what happens is, we see, actually this was the first event after COVID. We had our different tours cancelled. We had Tour de Punjab, that was cancelled.
Which is the premier event of Pakistan.
Which is a premier
yes.
event of Pakistan. So we had that cancelled. So we had you can say a big hit there. But the upside for COVID was that a lot of people are now coming in. So like they are willing to sponsor. So luckily this event was sponsored from a private entity. So that is why this was able to happen. So we want more people and corporate entities to come in, because as soon as they start coming in, maybe they start building their own teams. Maybe they start putting in effort to provincial teams, because provinces are looking after their different teams. So one of the corporate entities can actually support a province that, okay, we are supporting this province. Us being in Islamabad, we personally support the teams, but we don't get any funding from anywhere. So it is basically us who our personal, I say, enthusiasm takes us there, that we try to provide the cyclists whatever equipment we can to them. So if private entities start coming in, and you're 101% right, it's not just the government. Government can give you policies, they can give, as I said, they're giving us the administrative support. But the financial part comes from the corporate side. And once the corporate sides start coming in, and they start sponsoring events, because the biggest problem for us is actually getting sponsors. We've tried to do many events in Islamabad. The sponsors, if you have a small event of a regional level for cricket, you get more sponsors compared to a national level event for cycling.
That's true.
So
that's sad.
That's actually the sad part. And that's where we need to shift. Because if we have a national event coming up, so if the sponsor gives, and it's their part of CSR as well, their corporate social responsibility, that they should promote such sports which are actually lacking there. So if you bring that sport up, naturally it will go to the schools. It has to go to different areas, and it builds up. We were discussing something on the education policy as well, not directly related to the event, but we need to have the physical education part in it as well.
That's true. We don't have a PE culture, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yes.
So that's the culture we need to bring up. So and once you start putting in investment, once corporate culture start putting in investment for that culture. So let's say if I have a cycling event for Islamabad even. So if a corporate entity comes in and says, yes, we will sponsor you that event, it is going to be very easy for us to actually handle those activities and uplift it, because we get the administrative support. We had another event, the district administration supported us, the ICT police came in, they supported us. They, in the event, 1122 was there.
All the logistics
All
and
the
everything
logistics was done.
Yes.
And they are actually happy, and they are actually promoting, and they said, what else can we do? Yes, they can't give you financial support, but whatever the administrative boundaries allow them to do, they give us that support.
It's always there,
It's
and
always
we completely
there.
understand. But Mr. Arun General, thank you so much for being on the show. Mr. Waris Amini, thank you so much. We hope that you had a great time in Pakistan, and we hope that you come again and with an even bigger team, inshallah.
Yeah.
And obviously take over.
Inshallah, Afghanistan Cycle Federation will be Afghanistan Cycle Federation will be take it in 2021 toward Afghanistan and UCI. We will saving here. So we will inviting from Pakistan also another countries to come in Afghanistan, and we will have a race in Afghanistan.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
We certainly hope so. Thank you so much. We're just going to go towards a short break, but we're going to continue the discussion of cycling, and obviously we're going to have a couple of other people who have been participating and who have been part of this initiative in the second half of our show. Stay tuned to Sports Extra.
Stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion.
Welcome back to Sports Extra with me, Ahmed Nawaz. Before the break, we were discussing how important it is for sponsors and corporate entities, obviously, to come up and support such initiatives, because obviously sports is now a very expensive game. It's the fourth largest industry in the world, and obviously there are a lot of technical and logistics involved, and obviously now technologically very advanced, and equipment costing is something to actually consider. And now we've been very lucky to be joined in this segment by, first of all, the winner of this cycle race that took place from Islamabad to Muree, and he was representing SSGL, and he is none other than Mr. Rizwan. Assalamu alaikum, Rizwan. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I am fine.
Good to have you on the show. And we also have been joined by Mr. Kareem, who's representing a company called parkbicycle.com. Sir, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Thank you, sir. I am good.
Right, sir. So first of all, tell me about your responsibilities, and do tell us about parkbicycle.com first of all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. On the behalf of parkbicycle.com, I am humbly honored, and we are very proud that we have arranged this event for cycling and to promote cycling in the Pakistan. Actually, we are a startup, and age of this startup is 2.5 months only. During COVID, we felt that there is a lot of space, and we have to come up with some new initiative to engage our youth, our families in a healthy activity. Then we came up with the idea of promoting cycling in Pakistan. Then we just started, refined our idea, concept, and Alhamdulillah we have arranged many events in Lahore, and now we have arranged this international cycling race in Islamabad and Muree, and we are very glad, and we have attained the very good mileage for our startup from this race. And those things, there are institutional rights which have to be addressed to promote cycling. So we are trying to put our part to give something so that our youth and families can do cycling for better health, better fun, and better healthy life to have.
Absolutely, that's very true, because we're so much into our mobiles and laptops and gadgets and Netflix and whatever not, that we're getting away from nature. And I think Mr. Kareem's right that we need to bring that gap now back and
Absolutely.
obviously bridge it and make sure that we stay connected to healthy activities like cycling. So I think hats off to you. I think job well done for your startup at the same time as well. Rizwan, obviously the winner of this cycle race as well. And Rizwan, सबसे पहले तो ये बताएं कि कैसा लग रहा है जीत के और कैसा रहा पूरा साइकिल रेस?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम रिजवान है, रिजवान मोहम्मद उस्मान है, मेरा ताल्लुक़ SSGC टीम से है, मैं सिंध लियारी का रहने वाला हूँ। मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई, सबसे पहले अल्लाह पाक का शुक्र अदा करता हूँ जिसने मुझे इज़्ज़त दिया, जो इस मकाम तक पहुँचाया। इस रेस के लिए हमारे कोच हैं मैनेजर साहब इश्तियाक मुबीन साहब SSGC के हमारे कोच हैं नजीबुर रहमान साहब। उन्होंने मैं बहुत मेहनत करवाई, 2 महीने के कैंप लगाया कोयटा में, तो इस वजह से अल्लाह पाक ने हमें टीम को इज़्ज़त दी। ये हमारे साइकिलिंग वायद इस तरह का गेम है जो अकेला बंदा नहीं कर सकता है, तो टीम का एफर्ट होना चाहिए। हमारे जो टीम कैप्टन है हबीबुल्लाह खान, कोयटा का रहने वाले, उन्होंने हमें बहुत सपोर्ट किया ताकि हम लोग ट्रेनिंग कर सके और इस रेस को विनर कर सके। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह SSGC टीम के पास ये तकरीबन 5-6 टाइटल हैं पिंडी मरी जीतने के लिए। हमारे पास मुराद खिलाड़ी है जो हमारे भी कोच हैं, कोच है, उन्होंने तकरीबन 10 मरतबा यही रेस पिंडी टू मरी जीती है। वो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अभी तक उन्हीं का रिकॉर्ड है। इस बार इंशाल्लाह मैंने विन के, मुझे बहुत खुशी हो रही है। मैं कहता हूँ कि इस तरह के इवेंट पाकिस्तान साइकिलिंग फेडरेशन ने जो इस तरह के इवेंट करवाए हैं, मैं कहता हूँ यार ये 6 महीने 3 महीने में इस तरह के इवेंट होने चाहिए, ताकि हम लोग ने इंशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान में जो अफगानिस्तान मेहमान टीम आई थी हमने उनको भी बीट किया है, जीता है, तो इंशाल्लाह ताला हम लोग बाहर मुल्क में भी पाकिस्तान का नाम रोशन कर सकें इंशाल्लाह।
And what he is saying is that he's very delighted, and he belongs from Liari, so in Sindh, and Liari's been producing one of the best footballers, best boxers, and now they're taking over cycling as well. So it is one of a kind. I think the sports personalities that Liari is destined to produce is absolutely amazing, and Rizwan is all praises for his coach, his manager, his teammates, and he's saying that SSGL has dominated this race for the couple of times now. Obviously there have been a lot of awards, and he's inspiring now. He says the goal is to perform better in Pakistan and obviously win on the international stage as well. So sir, for your startup, as far as parkbicycle.com is concerned, what is the prime objective besides sponsoring such events?
Actually, our vision is to create a first Pakistan peer-to-peer online marketplace and a community development platform, so that we can gather the fragmented clubs and communities which are involved in cycling, and to bring them on a next level where they can mobilize this community, and then we will in future will facilitate them for services, for trainings, and for each and everything about cycling.
Because a lot of international people, when we talk to them regarding any sports, especially cycling, all of them want things to be digitally advanced, because we're in a digital age now. So do you believe that the next step has to be for all of this to be now brought to a digital front?
Yes, somehow we are moving toward a digital world, but at the same time we have to see logistical issues, supply chain, and the sources, price competitiveness. As you know that the policy making is the thing which plays a great role in economy or any sector of economy. So we are looking forward to government, so that private sector and government sector
can collaborate. And obviously it's great to see that this government has really been really helpful for startups as well in terms of the legislation policy making, one window operations, tax reform, so much being done by the government right now, and we understand that as well. रिजवान, कोई आप मैसेज देना चाहेंगे लोगों को जो आपको देख रहे हैं और जो नौजवान लोग हैं जो साइकिलिंग को एक स्पोर्ट्स के तौर पर लेना चाहते हैं?
मैं लोगों को यही मैसेज देना चाहता हूँ कि आजकल जो मोटरसाइकिल हो गया, मोटरसाइकिल है, कार गाड़ी, सब वही खरीद रहे हैं, उस पर ही सफ़र कर रहे हैं। तो इस वजह से इसको छोड़कर साइकिलिंग में जो हेल्थी भी, इनका सेहत भी सही होगा और कोई बीमारी भी नहीं होगा। जैसे अभी जो वबा फैला है पूरी दुनिया में क्योर 90 का, तो इंशाल्लाह अगर ये साइकिल चलाए तो इंशाल्लाह ये मुल्क से बहुत जल्दी खत्म हो जाएगा।
हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल, राइट। थैंक यू सो मच रिजवान, बहुत बहुत मुबारक, ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट, एंड सर टू यू एज वेल। एंड व्हाट रिजवान's message I think is the take of this segment. He wants people to get away from cars and motorbikes and take up cycling, not just for sports but as a mode of transportation as well, and obviously that can not just promote a healthy lifestyle but also do a lot of good to the environment as well. We're just going to go towards a short break now. We're going to wrap up this cycling segment, but when we come back we're going to be discussing the fact that a couple of new squads are there for the PSL with some new players making headlines. It's going to be very exciting right after this short break. Stay tuned.